Today, we're going to do Don't Quote Me on This, quick segment where we talk about some amazing quotes that exist out there in the world. I'm not going to tell you who said these. I'm going to try this time. First quote that I want to read to you guys. Without courage, we cannot practice any other virtue with consistency. We can't be kind, true, merciful, generous, or honest.
That's heavy. It takes courage. What's that? There's a prayer. It's like, accept the things I cannot change the things I can, and the courage to know the difference. Something like that. Or wisdom. Yeah. Something like that.
No, I get it. Courage is important.
Yeah.
I thought this was really cool because it's really like the key that unlocks the door to the other stuff, right? And in daily practical life, I keep finding that I feel like people who have anxiety and have fear in them are the ones who typically react with angst or anger towards others because there's something that they think might not go their way or might not go the right way for the group or the organization or the company. But I think courage allows you to say, whatever happens tomorrow, but today this is what we got to do. And the first thing is to at least be cordial or to be patient or to be all the other things listed here: true, kind, merciful. Merciful is huge in today's day and age. We are not a merciful culture. People are getting burned left and right just for one mistake or a mistake from the past. And I'm not saying there can't be accountability, but I really truly believe that we have to be courageous enough as a society to let people grow from their mistakes, because there's a lot of people who don't want to grow from their mistakes. Those are the people we need to focus on. The people who have a chance to change, they deserve some of this other stuff: generosity, honesty.
Yeah. That's incredibly, I guess, eye-opening for myself here, as I don't think I'm a courageous person. I'm more ambivalent to like something like, oh, that guy's getting mugged. Sucks. Like, just if I was courageous, I could practice, being generous and kind, and I was like, whatever. Just a lot of stuff. Like, I see a lot of stuff wrong that probably I could do something, but it's like, it's not part of my day. And I feel a lot of people don't have that courage to actually do something or say something in a situation where it probably, it's uncomfortable to do so. Yeah. But if you truly want to make the world better and people around you, it's going to be uncomfortable, but to do those, you have to be courageous and step in some situations.
Right. I don't think you even have to take it to that far of an extreme of, step in on the mugging necessarily. I think courage comes in the form of just having conviction about your qualities of life. I mean, how easy is it to fall into the tropes of, or just to bond with somebody over one negativity, or be it, I have a belief, like I don't want to call somebody stupid today. Like that takes courage to just not give in to that. So on a minor front, it's an internal courage thing. I think that's where you could apply it at any point in your life. Yeah. That's what I take away.
I like that. I think I align a little bit more with you that the daily courage, we're not all going to see muggings. I watched the movie All Quiet on the Western Front, which is about World War I, and it's this really brutal look at it. And I couldn't imagine in one lifetime seeing that amount of death, let alone at 18 years old, 20 years old, and within the span of months, just people next to you left and right just getting obliterated and then surviving that. Yeah. So courage doesn't always have to be earning a medal, but in your daily life, like I think you said, DJ, that's where I think this applies. Do you think you want to cultivate more courage, or do you think it's, that little epiphany that you shared with us? I don't think I'm a courageous person.
It's definitely something that I have been thinking about more recently. It's more accountability. I'm very good at pushing off responsibility. So it's just, being, I guess, courageous enough in my own endeavors of life just to be like, hey, I'm going to do that. Like, even like with my wife or something, like I'm going to do something to help her make her day better. So like just small things of making me a better person that can help the people around me. It's just taking those steps and accountability, really, I guess.
I've actually noticed that you've been a little more overt with your opinion, and I hate it. No.
I know, that's why I keep my mouth shut most of the time.
No, in reality, I think as your friend, being a friend with you for a long time, with him, I have no problem getting his opinion out of it. In fact, I don't have to ask for it most of the time. But I actually think... What's next? It's a joke. I'm being funny about this. I think it's really important for friends to find that courage, because when you're working together on something and you can learn to be courageous together, you're not offended by what they say. You take it with a grain of salt. You know that deep down inside you've built a foundation of like friendship that and working together on something, that these little opinions or these little jockeying for things is only making whatever you're doing better. And I've thought about that a lot over the last couple of months. So I just wanted you to know that I noticed it, and I like this part of you. I'm really proud of you, and you're inspiring me to continue on my path with that as well.
And the same, yeah. It's like I think it's definitely a two-way street where it's like we're putting in a lot of time into this, and it's like, I know we all want the best, and it's gonna the effort is gonna be worth it.
I want to follow that up. I'm going to skip around. I have 5 quotes in here, but like this one actually I think is a good follow-up to what we were just talking about. And it's each of us, famous or infamous, is a role model for somebody. And if we aren't, we should behave as though we are. Cheerful, kind, loving, courteous, because you can be sure someone is watching and taking deliberate and diligent notes. I think that's exactly what you were talking about.
Yes. Yeah. Because, I mean, Michelle and I would like to have kids sometime. We're not having no news right now. We're not.
Whoa, on the air.
Yeah.
Look out, man.
Yeah, nothing soon, but I was thinking, like,
what's next?
Yeah. Yeah. No, but like, I respect the hell out of my dad, and I know all the stuff that he's done, you know, for our family and my mom too. Like, but just to have those qualities, I feel like I'm lacking in some of those departments. I skated through a lot of life, and I need to, you know, own up and have, you know, be loving and kind and courteous and cheerful, and, you know, be able to right the ship when it's wrong, and carry and lift everyone up. And so that's kind of where it's been coming from. It's like I need to step up, and, you know, I'm married now, and you got to be the head of a household and take care of business.
It's funny, man. My mother runs a daycare, and it's hilarious. I've been around kids for a long time, just in and out of the house, things like that. Or when I was living with my parents, and she would always, you know how everyone like puts, you know, hey, like, you gotta use your big boy voice. There's kids around here, you can't repeat. It's hilarious how, like, you could say the silliest thing. You'd be talking about the stock market, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and be like, yeah, stock market. And you're like, what? like you said, you never know. Like, she's like, see, they will repeat everything. And I mean, like, but apply that to one, you're being a grown man. Like you said, if you're working in an area where you're training somebody, or, you know, I work in an environment all the time where I have multiple coworkers, people I'm training, new workers I'm working with, or people who are new to a business. And I mean, you could do the silliest thing. Like, I'll mess around on the walkie-talkie. 2 seconds later, I got new ones. The new guys messing around on the walkie-talkie. I was like, you haven't earned it yet.
Get out.
But that's because they're following what we're doing. You know what I mean? You never know.
That's a really good point in the workplace. Being a leader, being courageous. I'm finding when you're in high school and you're in college, there's people teaching you, there's people mentoring you, and so you always think there's going to be somebody there to tell you what's right or what's the best thing to do in a circumstance, or just have more expertise with you. And like there's always somebody who's going to know more than you and have more expertise than you, but they might not be in the room when that thing needs to be decided. And I'm finding in a lot of different circles, in a lot of different professions, it's not just entertainment, it's not just pest control, it's not anything. It's sometimes you have to be the one to choose. You have to be the one to say, I think this is what we need to do, or this is what we're going to do. And it takes a lot of courage to do that without being like, shut up, listen to me, I'm the boss, I'm in charge. But doing it from a place of calmness. I mean, the words used here, cheerful. I'm a huge culprit of this. I'll be like, I think we should do this, but I'm pissed for some reason because somebody asked me a reasonable question. And I just need to go, I need to be brave enough to be, you know, I think we really need to do this. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention, or I have no bandwidth right now. I'll come back to it in a little bit. Being cheerful is like the lubricant to so many good opportunities in the workplace, because if people are afraid, they'll stop bringing the ideas.
Yep.
And you have to be courageous enough to get over yourself in those ways. I'm so bad at that.
Yeah, definitely. Because you'd be in a situation, someone comes like, I got a great idea. I'm going to come up to my boss or bring it up in the meeting. They get shut down right away. Okay, maybe they'll try again, but chances are they won't. Yeah. And what if they have a brilliant idea that's going to solve all the problems that we're having right now, and now you shut them down? They're probably looking on Indeed or somewhere like for another job, to be honest.
That's a hard one too. Like, I mean, just to have a gut reaction, to be able to like control that.
Yeah.
That instantaneous, like you said, you're having a bad day, or even if you're not having a bad day, it's not their fault.
Right.
They're just bringing something to your attention, or you're getting caught off guard, and that's a hard thing to. That's that zen you need to like control and just. Woosah.
That's a perfect segue.
Yeah.
DJ, what's next? You knew what's next. Another quote ties in perfectly with that. I've learned that even when I have pains, I don't have to be one.
Ooh.
That's you run into 100 assholes in a day. Take a look in the mirror. You know?
That's true.
see who the real one is. But yeah, it's you can be going through something, but you don't have to make everyone else around you go through it as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there are going to be times where life sucks and you have to deal with it, but a lot of the times you're carrying just BS that doesn't need to be supported by everyone else.
Yeah. What I like what you're saying there is it's kind of knowing when to prioritize your pressure points. And it's tough because we all have anxieties. We all have things that bother us. I'm not saying don't have anxiety. I'm saying learn how to prioritize it. And sometimes for me, I have to compartmentalize it because otherwise those things will just bubble up into situations that this person has nothing to do with just what happened yesterday in a different department or with a different project. And if they're just, hey, we're just doing this, or we're fumbling through something and you're just pissed and you're angry, it's just like not helping anybody. I don't know. I think this is a very convicting quote of just, you don't always have to bring your shit into other people's lives. And sometimes looping it all back together, being courageous enough to protect others from your garbage is a task in and of itself. It takes a lot of emotional fortitude, but is important. I'm not saying you can't be transparent. A couple key friends you have to be really honest with and say, look, man, I'm struggling. I'm falling apart here. I'm under too much weight. And those are the people who can say, well, talk to me, or let's go do something, or let's let it out. So you don't have to project it to everyone. But if you're carrying it around and just dropping it into other people's worlds, it's not helping anything.
Definitely. Yeah. It's not that you have to hold on to that burden forever, or, it's just there are time and places. You can even say, like you said earlier, I'll take that into consideration right now, but like, give me a second. Like, just take a step back if you're feeling some kind of way, like you woke up late, you couldn't pack your lunch. Now it's raining outside, there was bad traffic, you stepped in a puddle, like all these things, and then you get into work and you're just in a bad mood. Like, don't bring that on everyone else, and then you're just complaining all day, bringing this negativity to everyone. Yeah. But if there's stuff going on, at some point be like, hey man, can we talk? I got some stuff I need to run through here and figure it out. But yeah, it's just keep there's a workflow and stuff around that. There's a balance.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me, I think, to this last quote here. All these quotes and this last one were said by Maya Angelou, the great American poet and writer. She passed away in 2014, but she was one of our nation's, I think, wisest women while she was here with us. I mean, she wrote plays, books of poetry, essays, a couple autobiographies, which have been the subject of TV shows and documentaries. She was a writer for over 50 years. And again, I think one of the great voices of this country, and always, I think, did it with a way, in a way that was really positive. And this last quote, I get chills when I read it, but she said, "This is a wonderful day. I have never seen this one before." And so I want to say to anybody out there who's struggling or having a hard time, this day is a gift. And tomorrow, should we all have it and get to enjoy it, is also a gift. So this is a wonderful day. I have never seen this one before.
That's deep. That is really deep. And that's also something I've been thinking about. Just lucky. We're lucky to be alive and not be in positions where we're in America. Like, let's be honest, America has it way better than a lot of other places. And just the position that we're in, friends that we have, there's so many opportunities before us, and life really is what you make of it. So you can be mopey, you can be sad, or, try something new, go outside, go for a walk, and it just feels good. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you can be going through the same thing. So I feel this is almost like, hey, change your life up too. Like, try something new in a way. Mm-hmm. You can go through the same, like, there's those just montages of, you could play back in the last 20 years of someone. It's the same thing every day, unless they choose to, be bright about it and view it differently, I guess.
I mean, I just think the one thing I love about this quote is how much she has written and how eloquent she is. And she just summed up one perfect lesson in under 12 words.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
I've heard this said in different ways in different contexts, and I just think it's a really beautiful thing to sometimes just pause, not worry about tomorrow, and just worry about today. So I really appreciated that quote, and I think might be the ultimate courage of just being able to look at where you're at and be thankful to just be breathing. So I know she lived a really full life and shared a lot of that just through her writing with us, and it's going to be here for ages to come. So that was Don't Quote Me on This with Maya Angelou.